These are always moments for me.
I love to see you like this.
This is my best friend, and so
thanks, buddy.
Yeah, and then Dibs is here too.
Sugar.
And so
I thought we'd come a long way.
When we get to do this, I mean, just imagine a couple of dudes at San Mateo High School who dreamt of these very things, and so to get to sit here in San Francisco, right outside of Chase Center, and have the voice of the Phoenix Suns on. Jon Bloom is always special, and we've done it before. To get to do it in person is even more special. But this season, the most special of all, because many Warriors fans will not know the story of Al McCoy's long time voice of the Phoenix Suns. Imagine Crook and Kipe desert style, like a beloved figure who's doing it forever, ever. And Jon has been broadcasting alongside Al and doing pre and post game and doing the whole wait his turn thing without any promises for a long time. And so to get to today and introduce to all of you now the voice of the Phoenix Suns, Jon Bloom, is an absolute moment for me. And I want to congratulate you on air for the first time after doing it 100 times privately. But here you are, buddy.
It's awesome, man. It's great to be here. I'm looking around, and I'm wondering where all the Suns gear is.
This guy's got jokes. He's a comedian.
Well, I have some jokes, Dibs.
I can't wait.
One of them is kind of jokey, but it goes back to, he was talking about how we used to sit around and dream about doing this.
Yeah.
We were also normal idiots where we'd sit around and dream about having an acne-free face and getting a girl to go on a date with us and all that stuff. It wasn't just like, hey, we're going to be talking NBA hoops on the radio in front of a bunch of yahoos. That's but I'm not calling anybody here.
That was part of it, yeah.
Well,
No, these are fine, upstanding people that are doing some good shopping on a Tuesday night. We got the season opener.
Let's go.
And I have some juices flowing through me right now, fellas. I mean, it's a big night for many reasons.
What we don't know is if you've got any guards flowing through your lineup. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal potentially both out. What do you know?
Well, what I know is what you know, because they had a shoot-around at the hotel. They're apparently the
like a Nerf hoop that they put up in the
where
rooms,
we were staying. There's like a full court, but it's part of the Equinox. Is it Equinox?
Okay.
How do you go? You go hard E
sure.
on that one, whatever it is. My mom used to work out there.
Okay,
but I didn't. And now the Suns do. So there's a gym there. I didn't see shoot-around, but I also know that they are keeping things kind of close to the vest up until the last final moments, which will be in about an hour when the coaches meet us and tell us who they're going to play and who they're not going to play. Now, for the Warriors, it's pretty clear-cut. It seems like just Draymond. Everybody else is ready to go. For the Suns, Bradley Beal, the reports this morning. Shams was the first one that I saw report that he's unlikely to play. Devin Booker, there's been no further information about his toe. It's, I think, a left big toe, in case you're wondering at home. Which toe? That's the one. And I hope it's okay. Because I'd like to see those guys play basketball. We've been waiting a while for this night.
We also would like him to be okay because, especially this portion of the year, you're not yet grinding over must-wins or, seeding and all the rest of it. So you want to see the best at their best. And I think a lot of Warriors fans are excited and nervous for what's to come with our new number 3. One number 3 out to Washington, a new number 3 in, Chris Paul. Jon, what are we in for with Chris Paul? Help us.
It's wild just to think about this. And I have been thinking about seeing him in a Warriors uniform. And it's not one of those players that it's jarring to see in a New York uniform. Because this is number 6?
Yeah.
So that's not jarring. We've gone over seeing Chris Paul wear different jerseys now. But he was in Phoenix for 3 years. And it was a wild ride in many ways, because obviously we got through COVID and the bubble, and then came Chris Paul taking over for Ricky Rubio, who helped the Suns go 8-0 in that bubble, and that really jump-started this franchise's success. But then here comes CP3. And I told Will this earlier off the air. I didn't really have the respect factor for Chris Paul that I have now until he became a Phoenix Sun, and I watched him go to work every single day and play every game the way he did. And I think the best way I could describe him, both on and off the floor, is he is a master manipulator. He can manipulate any situation to be in his favor, okay? Whether it's on the basketball floor or what he does off the floor, it's amazing what he's been able to accomplish in his life, and he still has a lot of life left. Now, in his basketball career, who knows? What is this, 19? It's crazy to get to those numbers. And he's third all-time in assists. That'll always, I think he'll be in that realm for a long, long time because those numbers are so high, 11,000 plus. He'll never catch John Stockton, and I think he knows that. But, you know, there's a guy, there's other lists that he's on that he'll be tough to catch. And I think you guys will grow to appreciate his art. I know it's tough because there's been some moments with the Warriors and Chris over the years.
It's funny you say that because I was at the forefront of, I think this is great and it's going to fit and I'm really into it. And my partner, Mark Willard, who you call Will, he's been a little bit slower to warm to CP3.
Yep.
So
I can see that.
And it's interesting what you said about him being a master manipulator because that's kind of what it feels like from afar, the way he tries to coerce the refs and the way he actually kind of orchestrates things on the floor, too.
Exactly. And I'm saying that in, not a derogatory manner because you could call somebody a manipulator, and that could be a bad thing. I don't think in this case it is, the way he does.
We do hope that Tim Roy grabs that, and every time he makes a shot, he says it's a manipulation sensation. We'll find out. We'll find out if that's the way that he wants to play it. We'll see. Jon Bloom, voice of the Suns, with us. Live team store. We're getting ready for the opener. Okay, if you know his game that well, then let's hear you translate it to the Warriors. How do you think he'll fit in?
Well, I think offensively he's going to create open shots for those guys, and that's a death knell, really, when you give Steph Curry and Klay Thompson open shots. You got other guys on this roster that can shoot, too. I'm just talking about the Splash Brothers significantly right now because I think that they will benefit from Chris being on the floor with them. Defensively is where I think a lot of people are wondering because Chris can be singled out. And the other thing that we saw over the last couple seasons is opposition really trying to get after him, get physical with him, take him full court, make him work to get the ball across, and then maybe you'll drain some of that energy by the end of the game. He won't be as effective. And we did see a little bit of that, especially down the stretch in the season. So those are the things that I think you're probably concerned about if you're a Warriors fan. But I think the positives outweigh the negatives. That's how I feel. That's how I would feel if I was in Warrior Nation. But I haven't been for 35 plus years since Kevin Johnson took me to the Suns side of things. Yes, he did. Yeah, it's his fault.
Unbelievable.
That pride of Sacramento and, the KJ days in Phoenix. And now you've been doing it so long that you can appreciate Warrior fans being a little bit reticent to embrace Chris Paul, a guy who's been the villain for so long. One guy who went from villain to hero, maybe back to villain, Kevin Durant. What kind of a reception do you expect tonight? And what do you think's going through KD's mind as he plays in front of fans here for the first time at Chase?
Well, he is a guy who does have those types of thoughts, right? He's not a guy who's going to block that out. I think this will be a significant night for Kevin Durant, and it probably has been in his mind for a little while based on the fact that he hasn't played in front of these fans in, 4 years?
Yeah.
I read, which is just insane. I know he played one game during the COVID season where there were no fans here, but to go that long without playing in a gym in the NBA is rare, and it just takes some freak occurrences. So that's what went down with KD. So all that said, this is going to be a significant moment, not just because it's the first time he's playing in front of the fans. From what I understand, there's maybe a tribute video that's going to roll. He might be in his feelings a little bit. I would be. I mean, this is a place where he experienced the most success he's experienced in his career. You could argue both as a team from success standpoint and individually winning those finals MVP awards, right? I mean, it's hard to say, even though he built that career before he got here to already be a bona fide superstar, those 3 seasons, those 3 years are always going to stand out for Kevin Durant, and tonight will probably stand out for him too, even though it is just game 1 of another season in his long career.
You were sort of comparing KD with the Warriors to CP3 with the Suns when we were talking earlier, and it was based off of the conversation of Kevin wanting his number retired here, which, Joe Lacob has basically already said that's going to happen. The difference is Kevin won rings here. Chris did not there. But when you look at the legacy of a player with one franchise, and that legacy only lasts 3 years, is that long enough?
It's hard. I mean, it really is hard when you have the kind of history that these franchises have. Now, the Warriors are older, obviously made the move before they came here to the Bay. The Suns have been around 55 years, always in Phoenix. You guys know those names that resonate with Suns fans because, the basketball fans do know those names, and the latest are going to get raised to the rafters this year. That's Amari Stoudemire and Sean Marion, the Matrix. So two guys that were part of that 7 seconds or less run with Steve Nash that really, kind of changed the game. It changed the way this basketball game's played. In fact, is a big way the reason why the Warriors play the game the way they play it. And I've heard that said from Steve Kerr to Steph Curry to Clay, everybody, right? So now the question is, does Chris Paul belong up there because of the 3 years he had? Now, they went to the finals, and it's one of 3 trips to the finals that this franchise has ever had. They didn't win, and they've never won. So it's a tough argument to have. There's no doubt about it. I think Chris Paul's always going to have a place in Suns fans' hearts because of that run to the finals. I think Suns fans are hoping they eventually make it all the way, and if they do, you're going to have other guys that you got to race to the rafters probably first, namely Devin Booker. This is his team. It always has been. This is the reason why Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal went to Phoenix is Devin Booker. He is the guy when it comes to the Phoenix Suns. And I'm not trying to downplay Chris Paul's role. I think Devin Booker was the reason Chris Paul went to Phoenix as well.
And is it the reason why Chris Paul went out of Phoenix? Because of the need for Devin Booker maybe to be more on the ball more often, and Chris Paul being that ball-dominant point guard, he's one of the best to ever do it. Was the fit something that had kind of worn out because Devin Booker had kind of outgrown that role of not being the primary guy?
That's a good question, Dibs. I think that,
it is, John.
Well, and I don't have a great answer for it.
That's
because
all right.
I think it's a couple of factors. I think that you have Chris Paul getting towards the end of his career. You have the Suns looking at it and saying, are we going to get into another year and run it back again, even though we just failed and we couldn't beat the Nuggets, and before that we got whooped by the Mavericks on our home court, and that's how these things came to an end since that finals run to Milwaukee. Nothing to hang the head about losing to Giannis the way he was playing in that finals run. I mean, the Suns went up 2-0. It felt like they were on their way to an NBA title. Giannis just exploded, and the Bucks played their butts off, and we know how that went down. Now, since then, though, it's been a little bit more disappointing in their runs in the playoffs. And I think when the opportunity to get a guy like Bradley Beal presented itself, then yes, that's what signified the end of Chris Paul's time with the Phoenix Suns. Is it going to work, not having a traditional point guard? What do you guys think? I mean, do you have to have a traditional point guard to succeed in the NBA right now?
I would say no, just because you could argue that the Warriors have never had a traditional point guard. Now maybe they've got 2. I don't know. But, yeah, that leads to, honestly, one of the only things I got left to find out from you, and that is as the curtain raises on the 23-24 season, you stack these teams in the West how? How do you see it? Who is the favorite? And by extension of that, who also just, quote-unquote, has a shot?
It's a tough pick right now for me. I like to see it before I predict it. In this case, maybe 20 games in, I'll have a much better answer for you, but I'm still going to give you one. I'm not going to cop out. I think the Nuggets are the favorites because they won. They didn't really lose too. Bruce Brown, definitely a loss that's significant, but I think they have some guys that can step in and fill his role, including this rookie that's really impressed me in the preseason, Julian Strother from Gonzaga. He looked great. So if those guys can play more mature than they are, then the Nuggets will still be the team to beat in the West. Suns come in second for me with this big 3. We're going to all find out just how devastating they're going to be offensively, but don't sleep on the defense. Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach, and he's got this group to buy in, and you have stars that are willing to play on that side. You guys watch KD. He can play D.
Yeah, he can.
Devin Booker embraces that side, and Bradley Beal can D up. So I think that's what makes them different, and that's what will propel them to be a true contender in the end. After that, it gets a little murky for me. I put the Warriors, the Clippers, and I even think I liked Memphis being a dark horse because people just kind of wrote him off, and Ja's going to miss 25 games. But now with Steven Adams out for the whole season, I've kind of softened on my Memphis as the dark horse pick right now.
They still need an adult. That was their only adult, and now he's out again.
Marcus Smart's going to help them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he's going to help them. I do think he will.
Man, that Ja thing got quiet. It got quiet. We still don't know exactly what the hell happened.
I love watching that guy play. I hope he comes back refreshed. I hope he's
got it figured out.
The league needs him. He's great for the league. So is Zion. These 2 young stars that we really haven't gotten to see scratch the surface yet, right?
And 2 enigmatic sort of ousters in their own ways. Zion with the off-court relationship questions and Ja unable to contain himself. So you're right, though, in terms of young stars, and that's kind of where Booker, I think, has emerged as one of the true, and I guess he's not that young anymore, right?
It's so weird, yeah.
Fifth year or
I
sixth
still
year,
think of him as young. It's his ninth season, dude. He's turning 27 next week. Yeah, I think of him as like one of my kids. It's crazy because I just watched him as a kid coming into this league. But yeah, Will knows how much I love Book, and he's poised for a huge season. Obviously you put two other stars around him, that helps too. But I think regardless, he was ready to bust out. The way he played in the playoffs, having to try to put the team on his back and help them beat Denver twice, which nobody else did in the playoffs, I think will take him a long way, confidence-wise. He's ready to go.
No love for the Kings in terms of your preseason analysis. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what...
Yeah, there's some brewing
well, your best friend, my partner, had a certain word that he used to describe the Kings.
He does have a pet name for them.
They're adorable.
He does call them adorable. I remember that.
No, but they
love when you call them that.
No, because they're...
Are they pounding at the doors yet?
They're cute. They score points, and there's a light. They turn the light on when they win. They're like, yay! And the fans go get food. It's cute. It's cute. And sometimes they win, but not very far or anything. It's not like anything. That's why it's so cute. It's not threatening or anything like that, but it's fun.
It was one of his great hot takes from last year.
I know, and he's going to milk it as long as he can, Dibs. You've got to prepare for that.
People east of here were infuriated. Absolutely.
You just head on the 80 a little bit, and you get over into the area where you're not welcome.
East of Fairfield is a no-fly zone for Mark Willard.
Welcome home, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you. Great to be here.
And then go home 0-1.
I'm going to light the beam tonight. I'll probably put my flashlight up and light my own beam tonight if the Suns beat the Warriors.
You are back in San Francisco. There's going to be a lot of things that get lit up tonight, win or lose. And so thank you for stopping by and getting over here early, man.
Well, thanks for having me. Keep crushing it on the air, you guys. I listen as much as I can.
Thanks,
man, you got tons to talk about. I'm going to let you go so you can discuss all this mayhem that's going on with the Niners, the Giants. Everything's happening.
People don't know that KJ stole his basketball heart, but this is a diehard Giants and 49ers fan over here.
Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, that hasn't changed at all.
Bob Melvin, any of your thoughts?
I like Bo Mel a lot. Yeah. He was in Arizona for a good portion of the time. I've been there 20 years now, so got to know him as the manager of the D-backs, and he's got a track record. Just look at him, man. The guy wins. And I know he's going to be jacked to come back up to Northern California because that's his hood as well, right? I mean, San Diego's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice.
It's okay city.
Come on. It's not the Bay. It's not. It's that beautiful, pristine ballpark right around the corner from right here, which I still claim is the best venue in all of sports. Show me a better one.
Yeah. No,
you might be right next to a better one.
Yeah, that one's nice too, but come on. Which one do you like better?
Have you been to Levi's Stadium, John?
I've eaten at the burger place.
Just asking if you've been
never
to
for
Levi's
a game.
Stadium. It
It's
had nothing
far.
to do with the...
I noticed it's far, but it's good for you because it's opposite direction of Sacramento. So if you need to escape, you should just go that way.
I do. Head
He's
south.
safe down there.
It is that time of year. Great to have you here, buddy. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
You'll have a great call tonight.
Thank you. Go Suns.
All right, there it is.
See you guys.